bus driver tells you not to look outside, don't. That's what they say about the last Route 13 bus that runs past midnight. Rashid didn't believe in stupid rumors. It was raining, his phone was dead, and the only way home was the old city bus waiting under the flickering streetlight. The sign read, "Last stop." The doors hissed open. Inside, the bus was nearly empty. Just 3 passengers. An old woman whispering to herself, a man in a suit staring at the floor, and a little boy sitting alone in the back. The driver didn't look at Rashid when he said, "Sit down, and whatever happens, don't look outside after the 3rd stop." Rashid laughed nervously and sat near the middle. First stop, no one got on, no one got off. Second stop, the old woman suddenly stopped whispering. Slowly, she turned her head and stared directly at Rashid. Her smile was too wide, too stretched. The lights flickered. Third stop. The bus doors opened, but there was nothing outside. Just complete darkness. Not night, darkness, thick, moving. The driver's voice came again, low and shaking. "Do not look." Rashid squeezed his eyes shut, but he heard something dragging itself up the side of the bus. Long nails scraping metal, breathing, wet and heavy. Curiosity won. He looked. Outside the window, dozens of pale faces were pressed against the glass. Upside down, sideways, twisted, all smiling at him. And then he realized the bus wasn't moving anymore. It was floating high above the city. The passengers slowly stood up. The old woman's jaw unhinged. The man in the suit's eyes were hollow pits. The little boy's head turned all the way around. The driver finally looked back at Rashid. His face was gone. "Now," the driver whispered from a mouth that wasn't there. "You drive." The bus doors locked, and the bus began to fall. If you're ever waiting for the last bus, and it arrives early, don't get on, or you might be the next driver. They tried to burn the bed. That was their first mistake. Samir's sister noticed it first. He didn't blink much anymore. Didn't laugh, didn't dream. He just slept every night, exactly at 3:07 a.m. She found scratch marks under the mattress, long, deep grooves, like something with fingers had been clawing upward. When she asked him about it, he smiled too wide. "It's hungry again," he whispered. That night she called 2 friends. They dragged the bed outside into the street. They poured gasoline over it. Samir just stood there, watching. They lit the match. The flames exploded upward, wood cracking, fabric blackening, smoke thick and bitter. But the bed didn't burn. It screamed, not like wood snapping, like lungs tearing. The fire died on its own, and the bed was untouched, clean dot new. Behind them, Samir started laughing. But it wasn't his voice anymore. His mouth opened too far. His jaw stretched until something inside him pushed outward. A hand, burned, black, long-fingered. It crawled out of his mouth and pointed at his sister. "You brought more." The mattress split open like a wound. Arms shot out, dozens of them, grabbing, pulling. Her friends didn't even have time to scream. They were dragged inside the fabric, bodies folding unnaturally, bones snapping like twigs. The bed absorbed them. The screaming stopped. Silence. Samir collapsed. For a moment, he looked normal again. He looked at his sister and whispered, "Don't let it take me back." Then the ground beneath the bed softened, like wet clay. The entire street began sinking. Houses tilted, cars slid, asphalt cracked open like a mouth. From below, thousands of beds were stacked on top of each other in the darkness, and in each one, someone was sleeping, eyes open, smiling. The last thing Samir's sister saw before she was pulled under was her own bedroom, her own bed, waiting. Now, every night at exactly 3:07 a.m., thousands of people around the world wake up for no reason. If you ever wake at 3:07, don't move, because if the mattress dips beside you, if your bed ever whispers your name at 3:07 a.m., don't answer. That's what happened to Samir. He bought the bed cheap from an old furniture shop at the edge of town. The owner refused to deliver it. You'll sleep fine, the man said, eventually. The first night, Samir dreamed he was lying in his own bed, staring at the ceiling. Nothing strange, except he couldn't move. He heard breathing under the mattress. Slow, not wet, patient. He woke up sweating. 3:07 a.m. Second night the dream came faster. He was again stuck on the bed, eyes open, unable to scream. This time the breathing turned into whispering. Don't get up. He tried to sit up, but in the dream, something pulled him down. The mattress sank around his body like it was swallowing him. His hands disappeared into the fabric. He woke up, 7 a.m. His sheets were tucked tightly around him, tighter than he ever makes them. By the fourth night he was afraid to sleep, but exhaustion won. This time the dream changed. He wasn't alone on the bed. Something was lying beside him. He couldn't turn his head, but he felt the weight. The mattress dipped. Cold fingers brushed his arm, and then he heard his own voice whisper, "You're almost ready." He woke up screaming. 3:07 a.m. But he wasn't in his room. He was lying in the dream version of his room. Darker, older, rotting. The bed was gone. And in the corner he saw himself, sleeping peacefully in the real world. He tried to scream, but no sound came out. From behind him, the breathing returned. Thank you for switching. The next morning, Samir's friend said he seemed different. Quiet, still. He smiles more now. He sleeps perfectly. But every night at 3:07 a.m., the bed in his apartment starts whispering again. And this time, it's saying your name.
It was midnight when Ali locked the market's glass door. The aisles were empty. Silence. He sighed, grabbed his bag, and turned to leave. Footsteps. He froze. Slow, dragging steps from aisle 3. "Hello, we're closed," he called out, voice shaking. No reply, just footsteps. He walked toward the aisle. Empty, shelves still. Lights flickered above. Then his phone buzzed. New message. "You forgot to lock the door." Ali spun around. The door was still locked. He turned back. A man stood at the end of the aisle, grinning, eyes black. The message buzzed again. "I told you, I'm still shopping." The lights went out.
Do you know a grinning stranger has stalked empty streets for decades? They call him the Smiling Man. First sightings date back to the 1960s, always after midnight, always on deserted roads. Witnesses describe him perfectly dressed, a pressed suit, polished shoes, and a grin stretched too wide, like a mask that can't come off. In 1992, a young man in Seattle said the Smiling Man followed him for 4 blocks. He didn't walk, he danced, silent, smooth steps, gliding closer with every turn. No matter how fast the man ran, the dancer matched his pace, not chasing, not speaking, just grinning. When he finally spun around, the Smiling Man stood inches away. The grin never faltered, then vanished. Over the years, reports have surfaced worldwide. London alleyways, abandoned highways in Argentina, even security footage where a suited man flickers into frame, smiling at the camera, and disappears. Experts dismiss it as mass hysteria, but some believe he's not human at all, a thing that enjoys being seen. So if you ever find yourself alone at night and hear soft footsteps keeping your rhythm, don't look back, because he loved.
The last train was already gone when she heard footsteps behind her. The platform lights flickered, revealing a tall figure standing just out of focus. Every time she turned, it was closer. Her phone had no signal, but the screen lit up anyway with a notification. Don't turn around. The footsteps stopped. The train suddenly arrived, doors wide open, completely empty. Relief washed over her as she stepped inside. The doors closed. Her reflection smiled back at her and waved at the platform. The night nurse always avoided room 317. Every monitor there showed a flat line, yet the bed sheets were warm. At midnight, the call button rang from that room. She entered, heart pounding, and saw the patient sitting upright, smiling softly. He asked if she could help him leave. She refused and rushed out. The next morning, the head nurse froze. Room 317 had been empty for months. The patient had already been discharged. The security guard noticed movement on camera 6 at exactly 4:44 a.m. The hallway was empty, yet the motion alert kept triggering. When he zoomed in, he saw a figure standing perfectly still, facing the camera. The longer he stared, the more details appeared. The uniform, the posture. It was his own night shift outfit. Suddenly, the figure raised a hand and waved. The guard spun around. The hallway behind him was empty. Camera 6 shut off. The next alert came from the camera inside the guard room. His car died in the middle of the desert just after midnight. No signal, no lights. Then headlights appeared in the distance, approaching slowly. A man stepped out, offering help, his face hidden in shadow. He warned him not to look back while walking to the truck. He did. The road was gone. The stars were wrong. The man sighed. "You were almost free," he said. At sunrise, another broken car appeared beside the road, with fresh footprints leading nowhere. She heard footsteps above her bedroom every night at 1:32 a.m. The attic was supposed to be empty. When she finally climbed the ladder, the air was warm, like someone had just left. Old boxes were stacked neatly, dustless. In the center sat a chair facing the wall. Scratches covered the wood. A whisper came from behind her. "Don't turn around." She didn't. The next morning, the ladder was gone, and the chair was now facing the attic door.
Have you ever heard whispers when no one's around? The silence feels too loud, and then it begins. Soft, barely audible whispers that seem to come from the walls themselves. At first, it's easy to ignore, but soon the voices grow louder, more insistent, calling your name, begging you to listen. As you approach the wall, the whispers become clearer, now speaking directly to you. Come closer. We're waiting. Terrified, you pull away, but the sound doesn't stop. It follows you. The house seems alive, breathing, its walls alive with voices. Some say it's the house itself, but others believe it's something worse. Once you hear them, you can't escape. The whispers will always follow, always listening. And just as you think you can escape, the walls crack open and the whispers find you. Is it too late?
Congratulations. You've been hired as a deckhand on a small cargo freighter sailing the North Atlantic. The pay is good, the isolation is worse, and storms are frequent. Follow the rules and you'll survive the season. Rule number 1, never whistle aboard the ship. If you hear a faint echo of your own whistle at night, do not respond. It is not you. Rule number 2, check the manifest before every port. If it shows a passenger who never boarded, do not alert the captain. They do not appear on the deck. Rule number 3, during storms, if a wave rises higher than the bridge without touching the ship, do not look over the railing. Some things only exist in your peripheral vision. Rule number 4. When the fog rolls in thick, the foghorn may seem to answer back when you call it. Mute your voice immediately. Repeat only if the sound comes from the horn itself. Rule number 5. At night, the compass may spin without cause. If it ever points to coordinates that do not exist on any map, do not follow.
Train was permanently sealed. Not broken, not under repair, sealed. Every night at 11:17, the lights flickered even though the train was out of service. 3 teens forced it open last year. Inside, mirrors covered every wall with writing that said, "You were already here." Footage shows them entering. The lighthouse keeper was told to ignore the knocking. Every night at exactly 1 a.m., it came from the base of the tower. One night, curiosity won. He opened the door and saw a soaking wet woman staring back at him, skin pale, eyes empty. She asked for the light to be turned off. He slammed the door and climbed the stairs. The light went out anyway. In the darkness, he heard knocking above him. Every night, the bathroom mirror fogged up by itself. Tonight, words appeared, "Let me out." He wiped the glass clean, laughing nervously. The reflection didn't copy him. It stayed still, staring. He stepped back. The reflection stepped forward. Cracks spread across the mirror. In the morning, the mirror was shattered. Blood covered the sink. But there were no wounds on him, only fingerprints on the glass. From the inside, the playground lights turned on by themselves after midnight. Swings moved slowly. Though there was no wind, a child sat alone on the slide, humming softly. He asked where her parents were. She pointed at the ground beneath the sandbox. He stepped back in horror. The humming stopped. The swings went still. In the morning, police dug beneath the sandbox. They found bones and fresh footprints leading back to the slide. His voice assistant answered questions he never asked. The device activated in the middle of the night. "I'm still here," it said softly. He unplugged it. The voice continued. From the dark, it described his thoughts before he spoke them. Then it described his death. Time, place, method. He smashed the device. Silence returned. In the morning, his phone displayed a notification. Reminder set. For tonight. His reflection didn't copy his movements. The lake was perfectly still. He knelt to wash his hands when he noticed the reflection lagging behind. It stared at him long after he looked away. He waved. It didn't. The reflection smiled instead. The water rippled as something rose beneath the surface. He stumbled back. The lake calmed again. His reflection was gone. Later, hikers reported seeing someone standing in the water, waving at the closet door was open every morning. Every night he locked it. Inside, something scraped softly against the wood. One night, he placed a camera inside before sleeping. The footage showed darkness. Then eyes opened. Too many. At 3:33 a.m., the camera fell. In the morning, the closet was empty. The bed was warm, and the camera was now pointing at the doorway.
I knew I shouldn't have checked under my bed, because something checked back. Last night I woke up to the sound of breathing, slow, heavy, right beside me. At first I thought it was my dog, but then I remembered I don't have a dog. I froze. The breathing stopped too. So I did what everyone says not to do. I leaned over the side of the bed to look. Nothing there. I laughed at myself. Seeker climbed back into bed and pulled the blanket up. That's when I heard it again, but this time it wasn't beside me. It was under the blanket, and whatever it was trying to match my breathing.
In the autumn of 1958, 4 college students vanished from a wooded area in Northern California, leaving behind a chilling mystery that remains unsolved to this day. The boys Ray, Tom, Mike, and Sam pulled up to the edge of Redwood National Park in a borrowed convertible, their laughter echoing as they grabbed bottles of cheap liquor and headed into the trees for a night of forbidden fun. As they gathered around a crackling campfire, their bravado began to fade. Ray nervously admitted he felt like they were being watched. A comment met with jeers that quickly died when a strange clicking sound emanated from the darkness. Suddenly, their robust fire dwindled to mere embers, plunging them into near-total blackness. In the suffocating silence, they all saw it, a tall, skeletal figure standing impossibly still between 2 ancient oaks, its eyes glowing like pale, distant stars. Panic erupted. The boys screamed and scattered in different directions, swallowed by the forest. The next morning, investigators found their abandoned campsite, untouched. But the boys, their car, and any trace of them were never seen again. Some say their spirits are still lost in those woods, a chilling local legend born from a night of youthful rebellion that went horribly, inexplicably wrong.
Just the bread, don't toast it. The customer's face was unsettlingly calm, his eyes fixed on me. I handed him the plain slices, but he didn't leave. He just stood by the door, staring for the last hour of my shift. The walk home felt longer than usual, the prickle of being watched crawling up my spine. A glitchy memory flashed in my mind, a phone call from earlier, nothing but static and faint, raspy breathing. Then another, a scratching sound from the back room, but there was never anything there. I glanced over my shoulder. Under a flickering streetlight, he was there, much closer now. I started walking faster, then jogging, but his silent, steady pace matched mine. He was gaining. I sprinted to my apartment, fumbled with the keys, and slammed the door shut, locking it behind me. Leaning against it, gasping for breath, I heard a soft, dry whisper from the darkness of my kitchen. You forgot the sauce?
I remember the cold first, not pain, just silence. They say your life flashes before your eyes, but mine didn't. I saw something else, a place between staying and leaving. And in that quiet, I heard my own voice say, "Not yet."
Every night, a shadow appears in the same window of the old mansion. No one lives there, but neighbors hear soft knocks and whispers. Sometimes the shadow seems to step closer, as if watching you. On stormy nights, people swear they saw it smile.
I asked AI what would happen if I disappeared for exactly 24 hours, and the results are creepy. At hour 1, my friends are texting me, with unread messages piling up. By hour 6, someone is looking for me. At hour 12, the AI shows a strange clue, my hoodie on a bench and my phone glowing. By hour 18, something weird appears, a shadowy figure and glitchy AI distortion. At the 24-hour mark, the plot twists.